Good morning, friends. Our today's topic is ex parte decree in order number 9, rule number 6 and 13 of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Order 9 tells about what happens after the appearance of the parties and if they do not appear, the consequences of non-appearance, how they will be. All these things will be discussed in Order 9. So normally, whenever we hear of Order 9, the term ex parte decree, ex parte judgment, ex parte order, all these things are they come into play, and it is the common parlance, ex parte decree, right? So friends, remember, what does Order 9, Rule 6 say? So Rule 6 says procedure when only the plaintiff appears. That means you have to understand when the defendant is absent. Defendant absent is when the summons are duly served. Suppose there may be so many causes for the defendant not to be able to attend the court. But if he is duly served the summons, and if it is proved that the summons were duly served and when he is absent, the court will be hearing the matter ex parte and deciding the matter also. So when you are supposed to attend the court, what is the summons? According to Order 5 of the CPC, summons is a legal document requiring a person to attend before the court on a particular date and time to give evidence or to produce a document like that. It is an official document, it is a legal document. And once you are supposed to appear before the court, and if you don't appear, that means you do not have interest, and definitely the court will decide the matter ex parte when the defendant is called absent and when the plaintiff is appear. You may be knowing. So when once according to as per Order 3, Rule 4, if you appoint an advocate, even if the advocate is present, who filed the wakalat, it is sufficient as though the plaintiff or the defendant is present. In these circumstances, when both of them are not present, definitely the court will hear the matter ex parte. That means in the absence of the defendant. Ex parte decree is a decree given in the absence of the defendant. Please remember, after due service of summons is more important. Suppose if it is proved that the summons is not duly served, normally the court will direct another adjournment or fresh summons to be issued and post the case to some other date. In this, there is another tricky issue also. When the summons are served but not in time, a person in Surat is supposed to serve the summons on 21st 12 2020 and he is supposed to attend the court on 22nd. Is it possible for him to come from Surat? It's not possible. So that is what is called summons serving in time, in due time. If that is the case, if he can send a message, court, definitely the court will postpone and it will not hear the matter ex parte. So this is what is called ex parte decree. So please remember, this such a type of decree, so as issued as per Order 6, is neither null and void nor inoperative, but is voidable. Voidable means it can be made valid or it can be made void also. So please remember, this is actually it is a procedural rule, a decree. So based on it, normally this is this is also appealable. So power is discretionary, as stated in the case of SM Arif versus Virendra Kumar Bajaj 2015. The court held that the power under Order 12 Rule 6 is discretionary and it cannot be claimed as a matter of right, because it may be the ex parte judgment may be given on the next day also, right? So now what are the remedies? Order 6, Order 12 of Order 12 Rule 6 says the case can be heard ex parte and the decision will be given basing on the material available or basing on the version of the plaintiff. But justice will be defeated if the person is not given a chance. Therefore, Rule 13 is framed in the same order. So Rule 13 tells about the setting aside of the decree or a decree that is which is passed ex parte. Ex parte setting aside the decree ex parte against the defendant. So when the defendant is absent as per rule 6 of order 12, normally the case will be decided ex parte. But if the defendant satisfies the court that the summons was not duly served, number one part, summons was not duly served, or that he was prevented by any sufficient cause from appearing when the suit was called on. So he might have wanted to come to the court. He started from a village called Inkollu, but due to the incessant rains or river cyclone, so the Koniki Vagu was flowing with a high velocity and was not able to come because the bus could not cross the so-called rivulet. Then it is a justifiable cause. Under these circumstances, he can file a petition for setting aside of the ex parte, and normally it will be allowed. Please remember. So this is what is called Order 12, Rule 13. Order 6 says about ex parte. Order 13 says about a remedy. This is one of the remedies. But only thing is you have to satisfy the court with the sufficient reasons. Right, so this is one of the remedies. And second, normally you can file, already I told you, this is an appealable, ex parte order is appealable. So you can go for appeal under section 92 of the CPC, or you can go for a review also. That will, I tell you, order 47 rule 1. If not, you can file a fresh suit also, no problem. If you go for a fresh suit, no objection. But here there are certain types of decrees which are called as collusive decrees, and they will be given ex parte. Normally it happens in the divorce cases. The husband is smart enough. Normally he will send the summons to the wife, and he will manage the postman and says that she has refused, she has avoided, she was not available in the house and things like that, and get the ex parte divorce. Now, once she comes to know that the divorce was given, already she is suffering from the matrimonial harassment and other things, and then she feels very bad, and Rule 13 is the remedy for her. Second is collusive decree. So this is in between the parties. A famous case law I want to tell you. Roopchand Gupta versus Raghuvamshi Private Limited, 1964. Actually, what happened is Roopchand Gupta is the tenant, sublessee. So I directly say sublessee. Actually, Raghuvamshi Private Limited they have acquired the property of some other company, and actually they are the lessees. They have given the sublessee to this Roopchand Gupta. Now Raghuvamshi and the original owner, they have colluded with each other, and the original owner filed a case against Raghuvamshi Private Limited. Raghuvamshi Private Limited purposefully avoided attending the court. Ex parte decree was given. So ex parte device for ejection or eviction. So Raghuvamshi Private Limited has to vacate the premises. Actually, who has occupied? The petitioner, the appellant has occupied this Roopchand Gupta, has taken it for sublease. Now Roopchand Gupta will become trespasser. Without his knowledge, the decree was taken. This is called a collusive decree. Now he has gone to, after coming to know of the issue, then he filed a petition on Rule 13, impleading himself, and the trial court agreed, accepted, and directed that this person shall remain as a tenant, and no coercive steps should be taken to evict him. So please remember, collusive decrees will also be there, right? So this is all regarding the so-called ex parte decree. Normally, in the case of First Plate Subbarao versus N. Anjaneyulu 2003, the Honorable High Court of AP has clearly literally chided the advocates. Please don't be in the habit of filing the so-called set-aside. The practice of advocate filing set-aside petitions to set aside the ex parte orders time and again is wrong and illegal. Please hear this. So please remember, make your defendant attend the court on all the dates. If not possible for him, you can attend on his behalf, and things like that. The ex parte decrees will not come into existence. Right? Thank you.